Hi, we're Charlotte and Perry. We travel around the UK and Europe visiting various different cities, towns and events. We'll give you guys ideas, inspirations, tips and recommendations as you come along on the journey with us. You'll get to see everything we get to see. Now we hope you enjoy this video. Thanks for watching.
Hello everyone, so today we are going to do a travel Q&A and we've got a few questions on Perry's phone that we're just going to go through.
Cool, so I think we've got about 8 questions today. As we said, so if you see me looking at my phone, I'm not checking Instagram, I am reading the questions. So we're going to get straight on with the video. So the first question we've got is, when you travel on an aeroplane, do you travel in or sitting in the aisle seat or the window seat? Well,
for me, I've always sat near the window for all flights. I don't really, that seems to be
I always make sure that I book the window seat for Charlotte. She does like the window seat.
I do like to look out and see what's going on downstairs, like outside, down below, and I'm always like shouting at her going, oh my god, look at this.
The problem with having the aisle seat, Charlotte has, the window seat. Charlotte has the window seat, I have the middle seat, someone else is on the aisle. So every time you go to the toilet or you want to order some food, you've got to there's that person in the way.
Or if you're obviously one that always keeps getting out of your seat in that during the flights, then obviously sitting near the window isn't as best. But then for myself, I prefer the window seat, and I don't really, the flights we've been on, we've only been a couple of hours, so I don't really get up as much.
If you're going on a long flight and you're going to... people know if they need to go to the toilet a lot. Or if you just want to get up and stretch your legs, then you're probably best to get the aisle seat. Also, you never know if you're going to get someone a bit grumpy sit on the aisle and you have to keep shuffling past them and leaning over to get your lemonade from the hostess person.
Luckily, we haven't had a bad person sitting beside us. We've had someone falling asleep, and then we just
I had that one. Someone just fell asleep and I'm like, how do I climb over them to go to the toilet?
So we just had to kind of stop, and you know what I mean, I said right, we just have to accept that we couldn't go anywhere until obviously it gets to the other end. But luckily we haven't had anyone that's been too,
Cool. The next question, how far in advance should I book my holiday? And it depends where you're going. So if you're going on a long haul holiday, so when I say long haul, I mean like a flight that's maybe 9 hours, then generally if you book say 7, 8, 9 months in advance, you get a cheaper flight. Because how it works is, when an aeroplane goes on sale, they'll sell 20 tickets at a cheap price, 20 tickets, and it goes in like categories. So the first 20 will be £100, the next 20 150. So you don't have to book in advance, but generally they can be cheaper. If you're going to go travel within Europe, then it doesn't really matter, because it don't matter where you're travelling to, you can probably pick up a ticket for like a flight for 40 quid, 50 quid. Yeah,
we've done quite a few like last minute breaks, and it doesn't really matter like too much in varying price really. But yeah, if you're obviously doing bigger holidays, and definitely do it a bit more sooner. But
yes, we said it depends on yourself. You can just wait till nearer the time and book a holiday. It just may cost you a little bit more because the seats are more expensive on the plane. If you're having a staycation, it doesn't matter.
You can do that.
Book the following week off and then off you go. Okay, this is an interesting one. It says, which country makes the best tea or coffee? So we'll briefly touch on this one. It's just that some countries don't have tea. We're in England. In England, obviously,
English
we like
breakfast tea. Like, obviously, if you're going to places that are hot on British tourists, then obviously you're going to have that kind of flow of they'll always serve tea. If you're like a tea person, like English breakfast. But
because when we went to Spain a couple of times, or no, was it Spain or Portugal? They had Earl Grey. And there was only Earl Grey. So Earl Grey...
We never had it before, and we was like, ooh.
Yeah, and also they don't put milk in the tea, so they'll just serve you tea with no milk.
Yeah.
And so the experience of having tea in other countries really varies, from no traditional English breakfast tea to they don't give you milk and you have to be like, can I have milk?
And they kind of look at you like, milk?
You want milk? I'm like, yes. And some countries just don't have tea and don't sell tea. So, for example, we went to Germany and there is no tea bags anywhere. Not in the hotel, none in the supermarket, you ain't getting
nothing. So if you are going to something where it's not like hot on British tourists, then I would recommend probably saying bring stuff like that with you if you are into like a tea person.
The next question is, what can't you travel without?
I would say obviously my camera, because I like to obviously film of what we're getting up to look back on, and obviously your charging
I carry a portable charger, which is a charging brick, which basically can probably charge my phone about 3 times over. And the amount of times we've been on car journeys, plane journeys, train journeys, and even on the way to London after work sometimes to see a show, and we've got like no juice on our phone. So yeah, a portable. If you don't have a portable charger,
recommend with getting one, especially like, obviously if you're out in the middle of nowhere, and obviously you've got like your cameras and bits like that on your phone, because everyone uses their phone these days for
even some people take so many photos and videos on holiday on their phone,
and they forget that
they're using much more like phone battery than they would normally use.
So definitely I would have to say probably the main thing would be your charging block.
Yeah, that's the one thing that we would be in trouble without, especially because when we travel as well, you don't want to get lost. So I use Google Maps to like check where we're going. Even like sometimes we'll get in a taxi to go somewhere on holiday, and just for safety I'll look on my map and watch us. So for example, if you're at the airport and you're going to like into the city and you can see yourself going away from the city on the map, you can be like, oh Charlotte, we're in danger here. So yeah. The next question is, city or countryside?
Well, kind of like a bit of a mixture of both. To be fair, most of our holidays kind of fluctuate between like a city break, like a city weekend, or like a long country holiday.
It's interesting to say city or countryside, I suppose, because that's more of a staycation. When you go on holiday, it's usually a beach holiday. And you very rarely go, or you can go on a holiday abroad to a city. You'll never really go on holiday abroad to a countryside, because in England we have a lot of countryside. So in the UK, generally we go on a lot of countryside holidays.
Like staycations, and then the ones like abroad are kind of
a bit of city and a bit
of countryside. So kind of varies on your actual location yourself, and obviously where you're going.
Just to have both, really.
Yeah, a bit of a mixture. Probably a bit nice every now and again.
In the UK, we never really visit cities. So, for example, we wouldn't go to Manchester or Liverpool or Birmingham, like a big city. We would rather go to like a countryside in a nice cabin.
Unless like we were going for like a show or something like that, then
for a specific
reason, then we would stay obviously in that city for a night.
So we like to go to events, and they usually are like expos. So for example, dance expo, game expo, cake expos, and those are usually in city centres, in big expo centres. So like the NEC in Birmingham takes a lot of events. London has a lot of events, so that's the only time we'd really go to stay in a city. Or if we was going to see a show in the West End, we might stay there. But if we're otherwise, we're going to the countryside. But then again, if you don't drive, you ain't going to the countryside. So we say that, but if you're someone who gets around on public transport in the UK and you're going on a staycation, or you want to go on a staycation, you're probably going to a city.
Going to stay in a city, unless you're obviously near a countryside.
Yeah, because the trains into the country are not great. Where if you, for example, could get a train easily to Manchester or Liverpool and you don't drive. So it depends on people's situation. So the next question we've got is, what should I pack?
Well, obviously, for ourselves, we have like a bag of kind of like all our essentials. So kind of like with all like toothbrush and bits like that, we always have that packed and ready for every holiday that we go on. And we don't really have to, and it's kind of ready for whatever destination you go to.
So that's like a wash bag, for example, and that wash bag, we don't have to prepare or get it ready. It's ready, and it does. So for example, it has a pack of cards, international phone chargers, a spare set of phone charging cables, as Charlotte said, toothbrush, roll-on, sun cream, toothpaste, and then we'll take that on holiday. So we've made that completely separate for holidays. So we go on one holiday and then we'll take on the next holiday, and
so it's always prepared and ready.
Can you imagine people people probably do this who have to run around the house remembering their toothbrush, or looking for their phone lead. Like I have I'm quite organised, so I have a phone lead in my bedroom, in my car, in the travel bags, in my work bag. Instead of carrying one cable around, I have 4 cables in 4 locations.
Like, if you haven't really travelled, or if you do travel and you've never actually thought something like that, definitely have like a wash bag like already, or like a cable bag like with all like your bits that you need for like charging and bits like that. Have that already like packed for each holiday, even if you have to obviously spend a little bit more with having
because when you get that ready for the first time, that bag, you're going to have to buy a new toothbrush, a new roll-on, a new wire, all this new stuff, but then that's ready. So when you go on holiday, you're not going to be like, oh, I forgot the toothpaste, because that toothpaste has been there from the past holiday, ready to go.
And especially as well, like some places like Boots and that, they do like little deals on like the small like travel essentials. So bits like that you can just get like double of, and then you know you've got that for obviously the future, so it's always quite handy.
Wilkinson's are pretty good with a travel section, like a big range of like small toothpaste, small shower gels. Generally we don't really take a shampoo or shower gel because most hotels provide it, but we bring our own conditioner, because quite often hotels have a shampoo and a shower gel but no conditioner.
Especially if you're going on like places on like a hot holiday, obviously dries your hair out, so you kind of need
salt water. That's it. Dries your hair out quite a lot.
Yeah, so quite a handy thing to have.
There's a question here, it's a bit of a strange one. It says, how many different currencies would you be carrying?
Well, obviously, like we have had one occasion where I think we went like through 2 or 3 countries in one go.
So we went once and we had to have English money to use at our airport, euros because we was crossing through France, so we had to have euros to go to Switzerland, which we needed Swiss francs. So we had to have 3 different currencies, but we use something now called a post office card, where you can have I think they have about 15 different currencies. Not every currency in the world's on there, about 15 different currencies, and you can put say £50 on there, and then you can
convert it.
You could go to the airport, buy a sandwich in your pounds and you can go on the app, change it to euros, use it in euros, and then for example when you go to say you was going to Switzerland after, on the app you just change it from euros to Swiss francs, and so that's so pretty handy.
Yeah, so like
post office. Yeah,
post office card. So like, I think like a travel, with something card.
Yeah, I think if you just Google travel currency card post office on Google, it will come up.
Definitely handy to have for if you don't want to obviously have cash on you, or as well if you're going through different locations, and it's always quite handy to have.
Yeah, but otherwise, generally we try not to carry too much cash, as in cash currency.
Yeah.
Just because for safety reasons, or if we lost it or got robbed or anything like that. But if you don't carry just cash, if you carry a little bit of cash and you use your normal bank card abroad, there are charges. So for example, if you go to Spain and you use your bank card to make a purchase, they're probably going to charge you like 40p on top of every purchase,
which I have had. I think we've used it for like McDonald's.
McDonald's, because when you go to McDonald's, right now it's all on the machines. You don't want to sit there and try and talk to the cashier and they don't understand you.
Then I have to obviously use my card for that occasion, but it's not very often.
Yeah, them machines at McDonald's are so handy, not having to talk to the person and just like doing it yourself. But then again, I had it once when we was in Burger King at an airport in France, in Lille. The McDonald's receipt come out and it said I was number 69 or something like that, and then the machine wasn't working, because normally you look at a machine and it says like 67, 68, and you wait for the number to come up to say ready. The machine was not working, and I had to wait for them to shout my number in French, and I'm like, I don't know what 67, 68 means in French. Like that was a bit of a nightmare. You might not have even known that.
I probably know.
You were sitting over the corner on your phone.
Probably told me to go and sit somewhere, and I was probably just thinking, oh, he's taking
and I'm sitting there like, how am I meant to know when my order's ready? I don't know if I've ever really... I probably told you that at the time, but I haven't thought about that for a while.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So that's the good thing about travelling, is you have these holidays and experiences that throughout your life you can refer back to, oh, this happened. So.
And you learn from, obviously, what's happening as well.
Yeah. So the next one is, do I need travel insurance?
Well, for myself, I have a heart condition, so I have to have travel insurance. It's a kind of a must. But obviously it depends on the situation of what you're doing and what you're getting up to. So obviously if you're going things like skiing, water sports, like
if you're going on holiday to do a bungee jump, I would probably get travel insurance.
Then say get travel insurance.
If you're a healthy person and you're going to Benidorm for the weekend, you could potentially go without travel insurance, but I wouldn't advise it, purely because if you're a healthy person, for example, and you're getting travel insurance to go to somewhere in Europe, it's probably going to cost you about £9.
It's not worth
the risk.
Yeah.
Also, now that we're not in the EU, you can't get a European medical card, so the moral of the story is probably get travel insurance.
Even if you...
For Charlotte, it's a lot more expensive. Her travel insurance is like £30, but mine's about £8. So sometimes it can be a bit annoying having to pay that extra cost out for Charlotte's travel insurance, but
it's needed. And to be fair, it's probably just worth it, just because you just don't know what's going to happen. So yeah, probably be better to be safe than sorry.
Cool. So there's no more questions. I just wanted to see if maybe you had any tips or anything that you thought might be helpful for someone out there who's looking to maybe book a holiday, or maybe their first holiday, or they're just looking for a bit of... Sometimes people are a bit worried nervous about booking holiday abroad, so anything we could give them to boost their confidence?
Obviously...
I've got one quickly. It's going to be if you go into a country and you don't speak the language, then you can get like a Google Translator on your phone, and you can download these packs. So for example, you can go to like Germany and you can download the German pack, which means when you don't have internet, you can still use the translator from English to German, for example. So definitely go on there and I've got loads downloaded. I just went on there once and was like Italian, French, Spanish, Germany.
Especially I think we've been to like restaurants now, we've had to like use it because you can like, it's got a camera on it, so you can scan over what the words are.
That needs internet though, but yeah, definitely. Oh, we did it once with a menu. So the menu was in like Spanish, and we used the Google Translator camera to use the camera over the menu, and it translated it live, the menu into English, which I thought was great. Great bit of technology.
I think we just kept using it for other things. It was like, oh, that's what that means.
Yeah. Translations are a bit funny as well. So
sometimes it will come out a bit random. You're like, I don't know if that actually means what that is.
Like there's this in America. There's this chat show called the Jimmy Fallon Show, and they do this thing where they will sing a song with a singer, and they'll translate it. So they'll get all the lyrics and they'll translate it from, say, like American or English, whatever you want to call it, to Portuguese, and then flip it back into English, and the words are completely off. So
that's one thing that you will notice on that.
So yeah, sometimes the sentences don't quite make sense. Like instead of saying, for example, chicken, chunks of chicken in pasta, it will just say like pasta without chunks, and you'll be like, what's that? Because you just have to try and guess what that means.
Yeah.
The only other thing I wanted to say and to kind of stress is get to the airport on time.
Yeah.
Don't miss your flight.
Make sure you have plenty of time to kind of just relax before you actually go and get your flight. Don't go.
So just even like earlier than you could imagine. Generally, they say get to the airport an hour and a half early. We're there two and a half hours early. We'll have breakfast beforehand or lunch. And also, if your plane is at say 2 o'clock. For example, your plane's not at 2 o'clock.
No.
Your plane takes off at 2 o'clock. You need to be on that plane about 40 minutes beforehand. So I think people go, oh, the flight's in 2 hours. We'll be all right. No, your flight is not in 2 hours.
You need to be on that plane in 2 hours.
Your flight's about an hour and 25 minutes away. It will be gone in the air in 2 hours.
So just making sure that obviously you leave yourself plenty of time.
I've seen loads of people, like just like celebrities and stuff on Instagram as well, who've missed their flights because, and also you never know, like the traffic on the road could, you've got to find
change.
You got some, and also if you are getting dropped off in a long stay car park, you have to get a little shuttle bus over into the airport. That takes time, Some airports don't allow you to just drop you off outside the front door. If you've never been there before, you may be like, oh, where are we? You're in a car park. Yeah, you have to go from the car park to the airport, and you get in the airport, and sometimes once you've gone through security, you then have to get a little shuttle train inside the airport over to your terminal.
terminal. Yeah.
So again, it just takes
we
time.
We didn't know that on one of our flights, and we wasn't expecting it to get like a train off to go somewhere else.
So yeah, that's about everything really.
Yeah.
So we've got a few holidays planned. Should I tell the guys what we got planned?
Yeah, because he's obviously more of that the organised.
Charlotte just like turns up.
I just turn up and enjoys a holiday, but yeah, you might as well say what we've got upcoming. Cool. Hopefully, fingers crossed if everything goes well.
COVID permitting, we've made several plans that are within the guidelines. So, for example, our first trip is in what we call a self-contained accommodation, which means
like a staycation, pretty much.
It has to be somewhere that has its own kitchen and self-contained. So we're staying in a lodge which has its own bathroom and kitchen, so we can feed ourselves. So we're staying there. So we're going to start off by going to Stoke in the UK for a couple of days, which is in like the middle of the country near Birmingham, kind of that area. And then we're going to go to Wales. We're going to go to Wales in Pembrokeshire for a couple of days. And we're going to stay in a studio apartment. And then after that we are going to Vienna in Austria for 4 days. And then following that we go Monday to Thursday to Thursday in
I hope you know.
Vienna, Austria, and then the following day on the Friday we go to Rotterdam in the Netherlands or Holland, whatever you want to call it, from Friday to Monday. So we will literally land on the Thursday, go home, change clothes, sleep, go to the airport the next day, fly off again. So 4 days and 4 days, 8-day trip.
It might be worth maybe getting a hotel somewhere or something nearby.
Yeah, but then again, we might want to go home and change bags or something like that. We'll see. Yeah, also it might be a different airport. We might land in Gatwick and have to go to Luton.
Yeah, so we'll see that at the time.
Yeah, and also the following day flight. I don't know if it's early or not. Yeah, I'll have to check that actually.
That might be a good idea.
Yeah, I will look into that. And then following on from that, we have a holiday booked later in the year in Switzerland. That's a 6-day holiday. And then we have Copenhagen in Denmark, which is a 3-day weekend in the end of November, which is going to be for the Christmas period. So there's going to be a Christmas market there. I'm pretty sure we have a week left that Charlotte can book off of her annual leave from work. So once we make an arrangement for that, then we'll squeeze in one more holiday. So that's our plan for the rest of the year. But there are some UK staycations in there as well. So there's some other, we actually have another trip to Wales for a weekend. We're going to go to a place called Cheltenham, to the Cheltenham Balloon Festival. And I don't know if I've explained this to you yet, but we're going to go to Bristol in October to a horror attraction, because we like the Halloween horror stuff.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to stick around.
Going around and we are going to do a video as well based on like how we like book our holidays, because obviously everyone books their holidays obviously different. Obviously some people use travel agents. I mentioned about Google. And obviously like bookings.com and stuff like that. So we're going to obviously do a little video about that, on how we book our holidays. And obviously at the beginning of this video you saw that we've done like a little intro. I've kind of changed my channel, but it used to be called obviously Life of Charlotte, but it's now just going to be called Char and Perry, because obviously he goes everywhere with me on our journey. So yeah, we thought we'd do it as a joint thing together.
So yeah. So that's about it. So obviously we can't really travel anywhere at the moment. So for the next couple of weeks or couple of months, we're going to do more sit-down, informative Q&A style videos until we can go out there. In the UK, if you're not based in the UK, then we can travel around in the UK kind of from April and May, and then from June and July we can start travelling more internationally. And I think from April and May, when you can kind of go out and about a bit more, you can start to do staycations almost straight away in self-contained accommodations. So we're going to get out there and stay safe with our mask and anti-bac. Yeah. And that's about all from us. Yeah.
So obviously if you have any other questions that you obviously want us to ask, obviously comment them down below. Obviously hit subscribe so you can obviously see with what upcoming videos that we've mentioned. But yeah, I think that is pretty much everything.
Yeah, hopefully between the 20 minutes of us chatting, maybe you've picked up on one thing that you may go, oh, actually, I'll consider that when I book my next holiday.
Yeah.
So hopefully at least one thing has been helpful for you guys.
Yeah, so thank you for watching.
And we'll see you
you
soon.
later. Bye.